Welcome to The Pulse, where we delve deep into the issues and ideas that are shaping the future of education. I'm your host, Rick Surrency, Superintendent of the Putnam County School District, and each week we'll be talking to teachers, administrators, and other experts in the field about the latest trends, best practices, and most pressing concerns in education. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who cares about education, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the pulse. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Rick Surrency. I'm the Superintendent of the Putnam County School District, and I'm glad you tuned in today. And I have two special guests with us today, two good friends of mine, Dr. Tom Hunter and Michael Helms. And we're going to talk about some things that happened this summer regarding one of our future scientists and engineering camps, and we'll hear a lot about that. But the person that made it all possible was Dr. Hunter, and we'll talk about his vision for what he saw or what he sees in this engineering camp, and we'll hear more about that from Mr. Helms. But both of you just introduce yourself. Just give us a little bit of your background. Dr. Hunter, if you'll begin.
I'd be glad to. My name is Tom Hunter, and I'm retired. I do some work for Rick occasionally, whenever he feels like I can. But I'm retired, and I was the president of a place called Sandia National Laboratories, which is probably the largest engineering research entity in the country, if not the world. And so I had a long history of science and engineering. And I also I was a graduate of the Putnam County school system all the way through St. Johns River, at that time junior college. And I'm just glad to be able to help and support the school district and to be a part of this program.
Welcome, Tom. And by the way, Tom graduated from the old Palatka High School, which is now the current CL Overturf Administrative Center. So, and actually, coincidentally, his office is in where you went to high school at. So, Mr. Helms, Michael, introduce yourself for us, please.
Thank you for letting me be here. My name is Michael Helms. I am the STEM specialist for Putnam County School District. I have the awesome opportunity to promote STEM and support teachers and allow a lot of great things that are going on in our county and help really support it any way I can.
Very good. Well, what I wanted us to talk about today is, the fact that Dr. Hunter, I'll call you Tom, if that's all right.
Please.
Tom had a vision, being an engineer himself and growing up in Putnam County. I know he had some thoughts about, what can I do or what could he do to really promote engineering and STEM, specifically engineering in our county. And he came to us one day and talked about a vision he had of really creating an opportunity, especially for students that may not have that, the means to do that, to give them kind of build the interest of STEM and engineering. So, Tom, without me taking any more words out of your mouth, just briefly talk to us about your vision of what you see in creating this opportunity for our students.
Well, thanks, Rick. In my career, I was able to see technology all across the world and to engage people from around the world dealing in technology. And it was clear to me that we're moving in an area of technology very rapidly. It was also clear that we don't have enough scientists and engineers to deal with in this country. And we're not giving a lot of attention in this country. In fact, STEM education is a new word, new acronym, but it's really only in the last 20 years you've seen a lot of emotion about trying to promote it. But I view it as an existential issue for the United States. We've got to stay current in the world. We've got to educate lots of scientists and engineers, and we've got to invest, and we've got to have means to stay current on all the different technologies. Everyone knows about AI and where that's going and what that's going to do. All that is just going to overwhelm the normal infrastructure of the United States. So it started with my concern about the future of the country and the need to have more scientists and engineers. Second, it came to Putnam County, and I looked at Putnam County, and I saw no reason why it couldn't be a resource for people in science and engineering. While there may not be a big crowd of people right now going into the system from Putnam County. There are several. I've worked with several students here all the way through graduate schools. But there's no reason why people from all over the county can't become at least introduced to the topic of science and engineering, see how interesting it is and how rewarding it is, and then find a way in which they can have classmates and peers they can talk to and get engaged and find a way to perhaps build at least an interest and maybe even a career. And my general view was that there are a lot of students who might not even graduate high school who, may be extremely talented, but we'll never know that unless we give them an opportunity and somehow make it part of their life and somewhere part of their future. So the vision was simply that Putnam County become a resource to help the country fill its needs for future scientists and engineers, and that students who might normally not even thought about going in that direction would in fact be informed about it and perhaps choose to go that way.
Well, that's a great explanation of it, and the whole idea is to try to get students to have that spark and appreciation and a desire to go into that. And I think, Mike, you want to maybe describe what that spark was that we did this summer. I know that y'all planned on actually a couple of camps, 3 camps altogether, but can you describe what happened this summer and the names of the camps and kind of an overview of what you did? And I think it will really talk about how those were fulfilling Tom's vision of promoting engineering.
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, it's just an honor to be here. I mean, and just to be, he gave his introduction, but his introduction goes a lot further than that. He just is a big deal for you to be here and for you to be part of this, and
absolutely
for me to be part of this. It's just an honor. I think his heart is our heart. Is really there's a quote that we kind of live by in the STEM program is the future's here, but it's just not evenly distributed. Meaning that there's people that are around our county, they could be engineers, but they just don't think they can. And so his heart really matched up with our vision with our STEM program is just to be able to expose kids to engineering, to science, to the things that are of the future. And it's here, self-driving cars here. When you go in an airplane, 80% of it's, autonomous, so it's just like we live in a futuristic world. And so it's our job as a school district to expose kids to that so that every kid has the opportunity to say, I can be an engineer, I can be whatever. And so during the summer, we really did 3 main camps. The 3-week camp, it was started with a really after-school program, a club with our students from all the high schools, and it was called Putnam Society of Future Engineers and Scientists. And their 3-week first project was to build an electric vehicle. So what an amazing first project. Some of our teachers that are leading it and are going to lead the club after the 3-week camp got to have the opportunity to go to California to help build the car. And the car is meant to be able to be built and then broken down, built and broken down. And so y'all will be seeing that in some of the parades that are going to be represented in all the schools. And that's a big thing with Putnam too as well. When we do something, we try to do it for all the high schools. Mm-hmm. When we do something for elementary in town, we're going to do it for Melrose, we're going to do it for Interlaken, we're going to do it through Crescent City. And that's our heart, is that it doesn't matter where you're at in our county, that you're being exposed to the same things that the in-town kids are being exposed to. And so that same heart, we wanted to do that with our secondary Putnam Society of Future Engineers. And so we had kids from all around the county come to the CLO Overturf District Center. We had to use the ag building, which that's just part of it sometimes. And they built an electric vehicle, student-led, teacher-guided. So it was just a great 3 weeks.
So what is some, building a car, just tell me some of the skills, some of the things they needed to learn to do that.
So a lot of that was a combination with our CTE program and then our coding program. And then engineering is designed, it's integrated within our STEM program itself. So they're learning the engineering design process at kindergarten. And they're learning about having troubleshooting ideas. And that engineering design process, people don't know, it's that almost the scientific method. You know, do you have a problem? How are we going to fix it? That kind of. And so we wanted to do this program of almost like integration with our CTE department, whether that is building construction, and with our coding department, which would be like code.org. So the kids that know how to code need to learn how to put a tire on, and the kids that know how to put a tire on need to know how to code a EV. You know, there's a computer on the electric vehicle where you can govern how fast it goes, or it uses regenerative braking, so you can govern that as well. So the kids that are more hands-on can learn the coding part, and it was an integration with everything, which is that's what everything's about. Because you look, we're a Space Florida district now. Part of that was, if you go look at the Space Coast, they want the people that are the best engineers to a lot of times start off on the floor, and they learn how to work with their hands, and they become the best engineers. And so we want them to have hands-on experience, but understanding the engineering design process as well.
So and that camp you're describing was a 3-week camp.
Yep.
Had about how many? 30 students.
So about 25 students.
Okay.
Yeah. So about
and
20.
I visited there one day, and I remember
Yep.
seeing them.
Yeah.
And I know we had 2 other camps. If you could describe those.
Yeah. So, and I want to say too, like, we're doing this during the summer. We're talking about, and we're next to the beach. We're next to lakes, you know. So
Kids are giving that up. Yeah.
Kids are giving that up. So
Some of them are.
some of them are. So we had a good turnout. I mean, so the first one we had 3 weeks with Putnam Society of Future Engineers and Scientists. The next one was a great opportunity with a UF engineering camp where they use microbits. And then the third one was it's called Putnam Rural Scholars, which is an ag camp, which they got to build some self-driving tractors, learn about how drones are in ag, some tower gardens, and really got to kind of kick off our ag and STEM program together. And it was really, really awesome. UF led both of those. So it was just a great opportunity to get our foot in the door with UF. What great, amazing partners to start with. You know, who would have thought that we're doing University of Florida summer camps? And but part of that, and Dr. Surrency says this all the time, it's about building partnerships. You know, part of that is having that partnership to be able to start it. You know.
Well, and I just want to thank Tom. Tom has, I know, made connections throughout our community.
Yeah.
And we got together on some other topics, and then I know you came to us with this vision. So, you know, hear what Mike described with these camps. What are your reactions to that as far as some of those concepts they learned and that type of thing?
Well, I think it's a great start, and I'll go back on the origin of the society that we talked about. I was not terribly closely involved in setting it up, but we did challenge the Mike and the faculty to come up with ideas, and they came up with the ideas, and they quickly moved those on into the students. So the students, as he said, became student-led. These camps were, I think, a great start. They emphasize real things, which is very important for both scientists and engineers to understand how the world really works.
Yeah.
And the fact that it doesn't work sometimes. So getting the electric cars and seeing the agriculture exhibits put some reality to the fact that science and engineers can do interesting, exciting things, but they also make a big difference in the world.
Yeah.
So let me ask maybe both of you this. If there are students out there watching this podcast now and they want to get involved right now, I mean, maybe they didn't hear about the camp or couldn't come, what might be some things they could do, you know, kind of in the near future to get involved?
So I say contact your principal, secondary. Like I said, this is a student-led, school-led, and like we went to the principals, talked about it. Principals kind of came up with the same kind of concept of what we really want to be school-led and student-led, you know. So part of that is, so if they're interested, talk to their faculty and talk to the administrator. They'll get in touch with the actual teacher that's involved with it, and to get part of it. Even to know that you might not say, I might not be this, so just try it out. And that's the part of it. It's like, it's such a great career, such a great thing to get into. We want to have all kids to be able to do it. And so really don't say I can't, you know. So that would be my encouragement. You can.
Well, and actually, I always love for students who went through our school system or who live close by to be models, role
Yeah.
models. And of course, we know Clay McCool. You know Clay very well.
Very well, yeah.
Who has gone through the University of Florida.
I worked with him.
And I know he meets with you from time to time.
Still does.
And he's an engineer. He's actually working at Grumman.
Yep.
Yeah.
And building stuff for I guess
Airplane fabrication.
airplanes, that type of thing. So, hearing from some of these locals who have gone through that, I think are a great testimony that if you're from Putnam County, the world is at your fingertips. And we're trying to give people opportunities.
Yeah, I was going to say we encourage and help the principals help us identify students, and it was really open to all students. All 4 high schools are on an equal basis.
Yeah.
And we need to get students who might have an interest to see their principals.
Yeah.
I'd also point out that engineering has a broad problem in this country, and that is it doesn't have enough women or girls who go into it.
Great point.
It turns out nationally the engineers are still only 20% women. And the University of Florida is doing a lot better at almost 28% or something like that. But we need to encourage all the girls to get involved in these programs and see how exciting it is.
It's not a guy thing. It's a guy and a lady thing. And
Not a guy thing.
Yeah.
I did want to say something about the partnership. We worked in partnership with the University of Florida. I've been able to work with professors there, and we're going to do some interesting things. That we're going to have tours of things on the University of Florida campus, which we're going to take the society members over to. And I've already asked some of the professors at the university to come meet with Mike and figure out some things they can do together to have kind of pathway discussions and pipeline discussions about how one might engage in an engineering career. So we have a lot of interesting things planned, and we'd like to get as much participation as we can.
And I think the wonderful thing about being in Putnam County, we're adjacent to the University of Florida.
Yep.
And of course, Tom is from the University of Florida. I'm actually a Florida grad myself back in the day. And
Supposed to go Gators.
And we have go Gators, yeah. And we have the Space Coast.
Yep.
So we are in a prime location to really take advantage of this. So any final thoughts before we close out today?
I would say don't let anything hinder you as well. If you need a ride, if you don't think you can do it, if it's sports, there's always an excuse for anything. I would just say if you feel like you're interested in doing it, don't let anything hinder you. And like I said, they're going to be doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
So they're going to be meeting at least twice a month, and they're going to be going to visit UF. And so this is I think a opportunity that you don't need to turn down. And we'll make 2 classes of it. We want this thing growing and expanding. We have a thing called CSOs, which we started.
Chief Science
Officers. And now we have Putnam Society of Future Engineers. And so it's just like, don't let this opportunity slip away, and you can do it. Don't let anything, ride or whatever. Just try to make it. And at the end of the day, whenever I was in high school, I never thought I'd be sitting where I'm at talking to these people I am right now. And so it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, that want to, if you want to, and that willingness to learn, then you can really.
If somebody's watching this, we want them to be able to reach out to you and get some answers. So.
Yeah, of course.
I want to thank Tom.
I was just saying, if you're inclined in this direction, look into it and do it. But if you're not inclined, take a chance.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Yep.
See the opportunities. See the excitement.
Yep.
And if things look tough to you, this can make it a lot better. So think about.
Won't hurt to try it. If you don't like it, then do something else.
Exactly right. Everybody's welcome.
Tom, thank you so much for being here. Mike, as always, thanks for being here, and I can't wait to see the future and see some of our students get excited about engineering and being a scientist. So, thanks to all of you for tuning in, and we'll see you at our next podcast.